Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jamie here. Thanks for joining me in today's video. What I'm going to be going through today is a bit of a concept regarding the buying cycle, and I guess how you can start leveraging that in your affiliate business or your coaching business or online business, whatever that manifests. For those of you that are joining me via Facebook in particular, if you could smash that heart button, drop a comment, let me know you're here. And of course, if you're joining me via YouTube, thank you and welcome to the channel. My name's Jamie. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer, digital ad strategist, and I'm a coach for a program. I've got over 590 students at the time of recording. If you're interested in learning more about that, feel free to click the link below in the description, and love to have a chat to see if I can help you out with anything. Alrighty, so I'm just going to share my screen and we'll jump straight into it. What's happening, folks? How you doing? Who have I got on the line today? Anyone from the old Facebook community? I gotta love her. It's a good start. Hey Susan, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Alrighty, let's share this thing. So I've gone to the trouble of drawing something that is hopefully going to illustrate what I'm going to go through a little bit better. As you can see, it's an absolute work of art. Took me all morning. Had several cups of coffee while I was doing this and, trying to map it. No, I'm kidding. Jokes. Silly joke. So here we have a funnel. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm just going to check my phone real quick, make sure I'm actually still showing that. It's not actually showing up on my end, so I don't know because there's a delay. Let's assume that it is. Yes, showing up. Cool, that's what I need. All right, so I'm going to go through how this would relate to, first and foremost, paid advertising, because it's easier to understand, and then I'm going to go through how this would relate to organic marketing. So as you can see, this neatly drawn out thing. I do take commissions, by the way, if you're ever looking for any artwork for your home or whatever. Just kidding, I'm not. Anyway, so here we have a funnel, and right down the bottom here, I'm going to use my laser pointer. Oh man, that is so nifty right there. Whoa, so cool. Anyway, so that's where the bulk of your buyers are going to be, and unfortunately, at any given time, you're only looking at around about approximately 3% of the market that are going to be in that little segmentation right there. So then the question remains, what do you do, and how do you get people? Because this is where the bulk of the market is actually aiming for. Everyone's aiming for these people there that are like got their credit card in their hand. They've got the solution, of where they're aware that they've got a problem. They are aware that there's a solution out there for them, and they need that problem solved ASAP. And so most marketers tend to go after these people right here, which is what you would call the bottom of the funnel. But in reality, the majority of your income is going to come from nurturing the relationships that you have with the people that are both at the top and more specifically in the middle of the funnel. And that's the big M right here, the big middle of your funnel right there. And of course, the top of funnel, which is just, building your audience. Okay, so then the question remains, well, how do you nurture the relationships? How do you get people from the top to the middle and to the bottom, and then extracting the cash flow and making happy customers along the way? So I'm going to use paid ads, as I mentioned, as a starting point. I think it's just a lot easier to hopefully so you guys understand the process of how that would look. And so all that is you start off with a cold prospect, and they have never heard of you. They've never heard of your brand, and they are at the top of the funnel. So you might have something, for example, like a video, and a video expresses who you are, what you're about, how you can help, and all that sort of stuff. So those people, by and large, some of them might literally just go straight from top to bottom, like depending on how you're structuring the offer, what exactly it is. But if we assume, for the sake of argument, that the buyers that we're chasing aren't people that are just going to drop $5 randomly, these are high ticket clients that we're after. And of course, that process to get those high ticket buyers out of your audience is going to take a little bit more nurturing. Hopefully that makes sense. So of course, you start off with something like a video ad. It doesn't have to be, but it can be a video ad. It's just a good way to express I guess who you are, how you can help, who you can serve, all that sort of stuff. And so sometimes, like I say, that pathway is very rapid. It'll go from top to bottom. They will go, yep, I think this person's legit, and I'm going to get my credit card out and buy the thing. Unlikely, but it can happen. Where that normally happens is if you've got a low ticket offer, $5 book, $10 book, etc. And then there's an ascension model behind that, and that's how those programs tend to escalate their buyers from the front end to the higher ticket stuff in the back end, right? So, but like I say, that there is not what we're talking about. We're talking about just the cold to warm to buying. So paid ads, like I say, you'd run a video ad. You might look to retarget. You've all been hit with retargeting ads. If you're here on Facebook or YouTube, you've probably been retargeted before. And all that means is that someone has had some form of interaction with an ad or a landing page or a video or whatever it is. And because of that interaction, depending on all sorts of factors, length of time you've spent watching a video, right through to what page on a website you went to, things like that, is going to determine how you get retargeted. And of course, that means that chances are you end up in that middle of the funnel. Now, of course, the way that you communicate with those people is going to be slightly different, because then someone who's brand new to who you are, you need to show them certain information in a structured way. You then also want to try and get them in the middle of the funnel to realize that they've got a problem, and realize more specifically that you have a solution to that problem. Hopefully it's all making sense. And of course, in doing so, in that process, you're eliminating their doubts. You're building the trust factor by actually helping them out with stuff a lot of the time, and you're basically getting them to get something from you, whether that is information or they are exchanging their email address for a lead magnet, so on and so forth. And that's middle of the funnel there most of the time. And so then, of course, those people, once they start becoming ingrained into who you are, how you can potentially help them out, they become, of course, solution aware. And that means that they know that they've got a problem, and through your content, through the way that you've structured things, they understand that you have a solution. So therefore they are then falling into the bottom of this thing. And so this is where the bulk of our income is going to come from. So that gives you a very rough overview in terms of the paid structure. So then the question remains, for those of us that are doing a lot of organic marketing, how do we use this concept and then start adding this to our own business? All right. So first and foremost, the whole online thing is something that I learned from Frank Kern, and something I really have started ingraining into me and into my students as well, on kind of an atomic level. And basically that is, if you look at the structure of I guess pretty much any business, but specifically online, it comes down to three things to focus on daily, which is number one, building your audience. Number two, giving value and goodwill into your audience. Number three is making them offers. So they need to know that you've got something to sell them, that you have something that is going to solve these problems for them, right? So how do we do this whole thing in terms of an organic strategy? So first and foremost, if you're on the old faces, Facebook, then of course that would be things like adding friends. If you have a group, then it might be looking for ways to increase the engagement in your group, so that Facebook rewards you by sending warm leads to you. These are people that have basically, they've got something and they want some more information, essentially. Not all the time. I mean, some people just want to be part of a community. Some people are prospecting. This is the nature of organic marketing. However, in that sense, then that comes down to essentially just two things, which is building your community, which is top of the funnel stuff right there. And then the second part of it is adding friends. And if you can't add friends, then you can build your community. So that's the two ways that you can get at the top of the funnel. My preference, having done this for a little while now, is to go with building a community. Reason being is that you, as the community owner, group owner, whatever you want to call it, you are in a state of authority once someone comes into your world, because they have opted and elected to jump into your world. And so you can nurture that relationship, and of course they would be at the top of the funnel. There's going to be certain circumstances where people may have done their homework, they may have seen you elsewhere, they may realize that you're a ridiculously good-looking 2 Comma Club award winner, and they just want to get. No, I'm kidding. But there are going to be certain circumstances where people will want to transact straight away, and they're just looking for more information or validity of who you are. Anyway, so that's top of the funnel. And then again, how do you then pull them through that pipeline and that funnel and get them, so you can actually serve them and get them transacting and help them out with stuff, things like that, which is of course at the bottom of the funnel. And this comes down to your content. So your content needs to do a couple of different things. It needs to show a little bit of who you are. You don't need to be vulnerable in the sense that you need to be like emotional all the time or anything like that, but you do need to express that you are a human being, that you're just here doing the stuff, that you're not necessarily the person zapping around in like a Lambo and flying private jets, because for most of us that's so far removed from our financial reality that it actually seems like unobtainable to get to those levels. So what is relatable is the kind of the dude next door that just happens to be recording videos in his apartment and wears a gray hoodie on a Wednesday for some reason. Things like that. Like, need to show a little bit of that. You need to start to dismantle the limiting beliefs that people have, and that can be about all sorts of stuff. The limiting beliefs about, can I do high ticket affiliate marketing? Is this the right pathway for me? Can I actually achieve the results that I see, all these big screenshots that get thrown around? Can I achieve that? Is that doable for me? So you need to eliminate those. And you also need to, through your content, you need to start removing some of the objections that people have. And this is all middle of the funnel stuff. So that would be things like, for example, the polarization of your own audience. What I mean by that is you can't serve everyone. And for me, at least anyway, I'm not looking to grow a huge, massive brand that takes over, that's like the next Coca-Cola or something like that. That's mass market. It's not what I'm interested in, and what most of my students aren't interested in as well. However, you can still serve a subset of that big audience. Maybe there's people that love Coca-Cola, but they specifically want a healthier alternative, and so then that's your audience. And so the way that you polarize in this instance would be things like, I only want to work with people that are willing to invest in themselves. Business is business. Business involves investment. Even if you're bootstrapping, even those big startups that are quote unquote bootstrapping, there's still an investment somewhere, right? And it's ludicrous that people have that belief that you shouldn't have to invest in yourself in order to go and do the thing. People go through college, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on education, same sort of process. A lot of people then argue that we can get all this information online for free on YouTube. Sure, some impeccably amazing information on YouTube. It's not structured, and you're not getting that guidance one-on-one or in a group setting, so on and so forth, right? So, of course, by saying these types of things, you're polarizing your audience, because then there's going to be some people that listen to that and they go, I'm never going to want to invest in myself. Everything online should be free. Like, this is a free country, it's a free world, Facebook's free, everything's free. But I just want other people to give me money. So if you just show me how to do that, and I can't serve those people. So, that's something that I now put into my content, because I want to polarize my audience in that regard. You also do it through supporting the beliefs of people as well. So if you can first and foremost dismantle a belief, like dismantling that, exactly like I mentioned, maybe some people think that that everything should be free, and then they start realizing, well, hang on a minute, if I'm investing a few $1,000 into my education, and that education can then make me a 6-figure income potentially, that's pretty cool. So maybe that there is a dismantling of their belief. So then you need to support and validate this new belief, and you can again do that through your content. Because then eventually, when you start saying these things and you're very clear about who you can serve, they start manifesting in your audience. And then those people, through the continual consistency in which you're putting out this similar types of content, which reinforces these belief systems, people are going to become ingrained into that as well. Like, yeah, actually, it's a really valid point. And then all of a sudden, you have a fan, because they've associated you with a change of belief. Hopefully that makes sense. So that there is the middle, which then leaves the question, how do you get those POPs to go and be the buyers? Well, I love the fact there's a big mountain of people here, but how to get them to the thing where they just give me the cash? And that's a really good question. So this is where you've nurtured these relationships through group activity, through content, through outreach as well, understanding that not every single person you speak to is going to be your person. They're not going to buy. Not everyone's going to be a buyer. You're looking for the people that you can serve and that you can help. and being completely detached and removed from that process. So that way you're not like going, oh, please let this be the one. Hopefully this is, please be the one. You don't need to be like that, because if you can't serve someone and they don't like your approach and they don't like the way that you look and the way that you contact them and the messages that you send them, that's completely fine. You just need to understand that there's going to be another person that you can go and find. So then, like I say, you've nurtured these relationships and either through Messenger or your content, or a mixture of both. Well, specifically more so through your content, actually, I dare say, because the content is the marketing component of your business. The Messenger, in my opinion, is the sales component of your business, right? So you're marketing, you're changing your belief patterns, you're reinforcing, that you've got the know, like, and trust factor. People resonate with you or they don't, and that's completely fine. So then, how do you get these guys over here? You can do a few things. And again, I'm going to leverage content, but it can be things like having exclusivity. It can be things like having scarcity. If you start adding these, very, very powerful to your content. For example, for the next 2 people that drop a GIF of a Coke, there we go, a Coke can GIF in the comments below this, I'm going to reach out to you guys, and I've got something pretty awesome lined up that I can help you with. It is going to take an investment, but it's a very pretty small one given the returns and the additional bonuses that I'm going to provide on the back of that. But it's only available for 2 people. So that's legitimate, by the way. I do encourage anyone that is interested, drop a Coke can GIF below and I'll reach out to you. However, what I just did then is I made you guys an offer. So I made you an offer. So some of you are in my audience and you're going, oh yeah, this guy seems legit, or not. And that's completely fine. And then other people are thinking, maybe it's time I actually took this whole thing seriously. And, I wonder what that offer is. I'm really curious. So I sparked some curiosity. I made it available only for 2 people. Should I? No, 2 people. Like, oh gosh, I hope I'm one of the lucky 2. So that's one example. You can have a countdown. You can have a countdown that is, say, for example, it's Wednesday now for my time, maybe different time other parts of the world. But if you can have a countdown for, say, the end of the week or the end of the month, hey, I'm taking people on a journey, for the next 3 people only, you can mix those 2 together, exclusivity and scarcity. Hey, for the next 2 people only, or 3 people who make contact with me between now and the end of the week, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And it's going to help you out in these following ways. That there can also be very, very powerful in terms of getting them from the mid part of your funnel down to the bottom of the funnel there. And then from there, through your content, especially in the group setting as well, it's just a matter of waiting for the people through your content, through the way you're framing things, through the value that you're providing to your audience, through the mindset shifts, through all the things that gets them to move the needle. You're then waiting for those people that are going, now is the time. Raise my hand. I would like to learn more about this. And those people there, they are in the bottom. That's the 3. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. That gives a bit of an overview in terms of the funnel. And so if you start thinking about these things, then you're going to have a different way that you view the people that you're communicating with. They top of the funnel. They've never met me before, or maybe they've just met me. Maybe they're engaged in a couple of messenger chats back and forth. Maybe I missed the opportunity to turn into a business-like conversation. Maybe I didn't, and they're just not interested. That's completely fine. But maybe they just get, actually, come to think of it, this person seems legit. Maybe they end up in here. Then after X amount of time, and that, okay, well, they're probably middle of my funnel now. I wonder if I can start pressing a few of those people over to get them to the top 3% that are like ready and willing and able at that moment to transact. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. I'm going to jump over to my screen, see if we've got any queries. And go from there. BizOp feeders. I love that. Work of art. Any questions on that, folks, that help anyone out at all? What the hell is an NFT? I'm a dinosaur. I don't know what that means. Oh, actually, no, I do. There's crypto art thingies. No, not actually. Although I can. Maybe it's worth a few bob. Ah, damn it! I can't click on pins on my thing. Yeah. Okay. Building audience. You're a non-fungible token, whatever that means. Oh gosh, that's a very fascinating question. Do you notice that building a Facebook group is better than email? Oh. Email will stand the test of time, in my opinion. It's going to be around for a little while. It's one of the few traffic sources that you truly own. I must admit that your social media properties are vulnerable. Mr. Zuck or Sergey Brin, if he's still involved in Google, might slap your accounts and go, no, you're not allowed these toys anymore. And that means there's a huge vulnerability in your business. Whereas email, you can take your email list and assuming that you have some form of relationship with your audience, then that's something that you truly own. Some people might argue that, because there has been instances where autoresponders have just completely shut down an account, not even let get your own data out of it. However, you can still download your data as your email subscribers on a daily basis if you choose to. So that's why I think both are probably quite adequate. Having said that, I had a sizable email list at one point, but I was getting 0 open, so I thought, well, this is kind of pointless. I completely wiped it clean and started again. And I've got 500-600 subs, and I like having them there. Even though open rates are not flash compared to bots or even engagement here on Facebook or whatever, or YouTube for that matter. Definitely they do massively assist though. Yeah, and it is social media, right? Like, whereas if you're if on email, the average user gets something like 147 emails per day or something like that. Don't quote me on those figures. They're a couple of years old now. But point being is that it is harder to stand out in an inbox. So there is that thing to contend with. However, on that note, even just having that as a touch point. So I'm still, like, interesting little thing is some of the emails I've got in my inbox, I don't read them. However, I see the name, and then I'll see the name again on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and I see the name, and it gives it's a subconscious thing that person is adding another touch point to me, basically. So they are in the forefront of my mind, if that makes sense. I do have a list, yeah. Check out the link in my bio. Is one there. I've got another one. If you go to jgcall.com, there's another one there. Completely different sequences. I've got another one. I've got many. I also like the going back to the comment before with the group. I enjoy this. I enjoy putting content out there, hopefully helping a few people out along the way with my incredible artwork. SMS, yes, actually, that's a really good talking point. So speaking of lists, and again, it's just, we were talking about a group versus what do you call it, email. However, someone's just pointed out, it's a very good thing to note as well, is that SMS still gets like 90+% open rates. So of course you only got a little window that you can actually put the data in. So you need to try and get them to transact and click elsewhere. And it's just another touch point, but that can be very beneficial as well, having an SMS list. So that's a list of contact numbers. Messenger, again, another great opportunity. The issue I've found with Messenger is I'd blown up a list. I say blown up, it's like 500 people on it, but that was making me a good, I don't know, each sub was worth at least $2 to $3 per month, put it that way, and I was enjoying that process. But then Mr. Zuck changed his rules again, and I got smited yet again from another Facebook property. So yeah, I still like them. They're still very beneficial, and even getting people in. So sorry, this is and just to clarify as well, that is when you're putting out like a blast to your audience, just a little bit harder to do these days. You can still do it, it's just a little bit harder. However, you can individually communicate one-on-one. There's no limitations on that. So if you get people on your bot list, you can just drop messages to them one-on-one. Hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's old Zuck. I don't even want to say the full name just in case I get slapped. So circling back to one of the things I said before as well, there's a rule of 7 in direct response advertising, and I dare say it's probably more like the rule of 21 these days. But the rule of 7 is basically, it was sort of like an ideology, which was that someone would need to see an advertisement 7 times in order for them to be willing to transact. And I think with the age of social media and the bombardment of ads these days, it's probably changed quite a bit. I'd say it's probably more like 15, rule of 15 or something. I actually don't know the stats, to be fair. So having said that, the reasons why having an email list, like I say, is I still take note of the names, even if I don't read the emails. So it's still there. It's another just a touch point, which I think is really powerful stuff. So yeah, man, doing well. Thank you very much. I think you guys are still in lockdown, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of crap. Hope you're okay. Zuck, I just got that joke. Brilliant. Yeah, the questions, folks. Hit me up if you'd like a signed autograph copy of that amazing artwork. .0, man. I feel for you. Alrighty, might leave it there. Thanks so much for joining me, folks. Hopefully you got a bit of value out of this. And yeah, if you're interested in my special offer that I very strangely pitched before, hit me up. It's gonna be good. No, do it, seriously. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys very shortly. Thanks very much. Oh, actually, a question before we go. Where do you get content ideas from you for groups and lives? This is a really good talking point. I don't know. I just copy what everyone else does. No, I'm kidding. So what you can do, this is a really effective way to do it. I've got a course I can sell you. It's $200 that actually comes with a content curator, and there's a whole bunch of things in there which basically will show you how to actually create content, and it gives you a whole lot of prompts. You're welcome to check that out. But having said that, what you can also do is many things. You can go into the search function on Facebook, and you can have a look at, say, keywords. And so a keyword, for example, might be affiliate marketing, and then maybe you want to expand upon that a little bit more, and you might want to say affiliate marketing plus struggling, or hard, or digital marketing not getting results, things like that. And so what that'll do is pick up keywords. And the reason why I say that is because if you can produce content which aims to help people restructure things in their brain and have those little epiphanies, and hey, does this sound like you're struggling with affiliate marketing? Here's the things that I've learned from and so now you've got a bit of content, and that one thing that someone says, like, hey, I'm really struggling to get leads, for example, throwing it out there, right? Struggling to get leads. Cool. So now that you could just isolate that and go, okay, hey, are you struggling to get leads? But that's a surface level problem. It's a surface level thing. So you ideally want to work out, well, is it actually a lead generation problem? Or is it the fact that their offer sucks? Or they just haven't hit the right discomfort points for people in order to actually want to get them to transact on something? Those are the things that you start learning. So big thing to do is quite literally just think of all the things that maybe even you yourself has experienced in terms of like things that have frustrated you about the whole online stuff, things that you learned, things that you believe that you no longer believe, and start thinking about those things. And then of course you'll start finding them elsewhere, because a lot of people share those same experiences and those same beliefs or misbeliefs, or is it mis or disbelief? Oh god, whatever, you get the idea. And so if you just brain dump a whole bunch of these, and look at the common objections people have, and look at the common pain points people have, and look at why people aren't hitting their goals, what are some of the common misbeliefs regarding those, and now you've got a ton of content, and each one you can then take and delve into a little bit deeper. So okay, I went on a little sub rant before about it irks me when people don't see this as a business, and hence why they don't want to invest in themselves. So that alone, that's isolated people, freebie seekers. And I get that, like, I went bankrupt. I understand that everyone's in a different financial circumstance. I'm not attacking people that don't have the financial resources for something. It's more the attitude behind it. But then you can take that one isolated thing and go, do you have this belief? And then what other things can you now pinpoint? My God, what's happened to me? Need another coffee. You can then expand upon those things, and you can start writing down, okay, well, where does this belief come from? It's now another thing I can potentially write about. What is the reasons why they have this belief? That's another thing I can write about. What is a way that I can restructure that belief in their mind? That's another bit of content potentially, or they may be the same bit of content all in one. Right. So anyway, whole big chunk of objections. What else? You can have a look at things like industry sources. I give credit where credit's due. So I mentioned that I learned a lot of stuff from Frank Kern, all that sort of stuff, right? So you can say, like, any course that you've been through, hey, this is something I picked up recently from, name the person, and I thought you guys would get some benefit from it. You can write that out. You can, or do a video on it. You can regurgitate some of the things maybe you learn here, for argument's sake. You can sort of go through your own, maybe you want to do a neater drawing than the one that I did, and kind of discuss that with your own audience in your own language patterns and things like that. What else can you do? You can take components of a course, because then one of the things that you can do is if you're able to dismantle a belief system for someone, and then you can kombucha. You can dismantle a belief system, and you can add a new belief system in place for that person, and then you can edify them on a program that will actually solve those problems for them. That's really powerful as well. So what I mean by that is basically, if someone believes, again, I'm going to leverage people not wanting to invest in themselves. So if you leverage that as your core kind of disbelief that they have, I'm going to have to Google what the right answer is after this. Is ridiculous. If you have that as your core belief that you don't believe is to be true, and then the next part about that is changing that belief and then supporting the new one, and then taking a component from the programs that you're part of, and you can actually just say, well, look, these are some of the things that we learn about in SAA, for example. This is one big tip that I picked up from the mentoring program I'm part of, or my coach told me this. All good content ideas. When it comes to content as well, like, we all go through states of creativity, and some days, there's even weeks where I will just be like staring at my screen, go, all right, I'm gonna type out some content, I'm gonna make a sale. Oh gosh, this sucks. Got nothing to write. I have no ideas. There's nothing in my brain right now. And so be forgiving of yourself for those. That's my big thing. And I'm not saying like don't like have some level of discipline around that. What I'm saying is that, no, I don't mean like, like, oh, it's okay, don't write any content ever, it's fine. What I mean is don't like smash yourself with punishment, like, oh, you bloody idiot, how can you not think of anything? Because it does no good. Like, you're not actually serving yourself by doing that. You're then changing the conversation in your own mind about what you do and don't know. So my big thing is like, I just step back and go, okay, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write today. And writer's block attacks all of us. And maybe that's something. Maybe I'll spark another idea off the basis of that. But circling back real quick, brain dump some stuff, and you'll never run out of ideas, because you just like, you've got a ton of them. I've got like literally docs and docs and docs, Google Docs, of pages and pages of stuff that I've just thought of. Certain things that you may hear, whether they're right or wrong. Today we've spoken about the importance of building a list, but one of the things I will often say is, it's a common misconception. You don't actually need a list to start a business and do that stuff. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm being super hypocritical. I have a list. I have all the fancy funnels and all that sort of stuff, but I certainly don't need it to run my business. I could remove all those layers and just have my group, and that would be it. I'd still do pretty well. They just support that. So therefore, changing these beliefs and having those things there can help in terms of supporting those arguments with your audience. Hopefully that helps. That was a long rant, wasn't it? Far out. Yeah. If that's, I can't see a name, unfortunately. I'm guessing it might be Carl. But if it is, and if it's not, then I apologize. But if it is Carl, I've seen you notes this dude, for example, we have a coaching call, and the dude like pages of notes and notes and notes and notes and notes. Yeah. While I'm on that one, I'm just going to see, I'm feeling creative now, right? This is one example where I'm feeling creative. So I'm just going to keep talking until you guys tell me to shut up. But going back to one of the comments I made before, which was in relation to the beliefs or non-beliefs. I still haven't worked out what the bloody word is. Is it dis or miss or non, whatever? Doesn't matter. You guys get the idea. And if you have a whole bunch of those sitting there, and you're looking, they're the surface level problems. So then if you start thinking about the implications of those problems, and I use the example of lead flow, like, oh, I can't get, the leads are bad. Like, I can't make a sale, the leads are bad. Which is, that's a misbelief, disbelief, non-belief, whatever you want to call it. Because most of the time, it's nothing to do with the lead flow. It's because the offer sucks. There's an incongruence. It is the lack of follow-up. There is something in the way that it's being presented that isn't actually appealing to the audience. So again, if you have an idea about that, now you've got more content to go off, right? I was going to talk about spin selling, which you can use that kind of framework, which is basically situation, problem, implication, needs, payoff. And it's all a series of questions that you are asked to elicit certain responses. So a problem, well, what's the implication of that problem? Because then you're going to get to the surface, you're going to get below the surface in terms of what the actual issue is. And that's where the belief thing is. It's like, I believe I'm not getting enough leads, so the lead flow is bad, or I'm like, there's no buyers out there, things like that. But then the reality is, well, what's the implication of that? Well, if I'm not getting leads, I'm not making sales. What's the implication of that? I'm not making sales, I'm probably not making money. What's the implication of that? Well, if I'm not making money, then I'm not getting closer to my goals. I'm stuck in this dead-end job I absolutely hate. I'm not living in the Bahamas, sipping Mai Tais and all that sort of stuff the way that my dream is. Oh man, so that's the implication. So now you've gone from just, hey, I'm not getting enough leads. Hey, are you not getting enough leads in your business? So then you start working down. Well, this is a common misbelief. Here's the reasons why. And you can start painting a very, very, very powerful mental picture for someone on that incongruence in their thinking. And you can show them through your own content another way. There you go. That's another rant. That's all done. Right. On that note, I might go and have a snack and a kombucha and a lie down. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Anything else you guys want to chat about on the back of that? And coffee, yeah. It's always good to have caffeine. I like caffeine. You're welcome, man. Hopefully it helps. All right, I'm off. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Really, really appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and keep up the awesome work. If there's any questions that you have, or if there's anything that you would like to learn specifically, another tip on content creation is asking your audience what they need help with. There you go. They will tell you a lot of the time. So there you go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.